So judging by the discussion I've seen on the internet as of late, I've seen a lot of, conflicting discussion and definitions of what asset flips apps actually are and what they are not. Such a seemingly simple and straightforward concept actually has a lot of nuance and subjectivity built into it. So first, let's work out where the term asset flip actually comes from. It was initially coined by Jim Sterling in his Jimquisition video appropriately named The Asset Flip. The term is based on the sleazy business practice of flipping wares for profit, most commonly houses and cars. Specifically, flipping, say, a house would involve buying it at a low price from somebody who wants to get rid of it, and then selling it off again at a higher price almost immediately with little to no refurbishment. This kind of practice is actually illegal in some places and under certain circumstances since it incorporates some form of fraud. At least from my pretty weak understanding of the situation, since I'm not anything close to I don't know law at all, especially not US law. The point is that the concept of flipping has existed for kind of a while, and only recently has it actually been brought into the games industry. When Jim Sterling first used it, Digital Homicide was a prime example, who bought a lot of pre-built assets and flipped them with little to no changes or thoughtful design to go with it. However, as with all things, there is some grey area. What exactly constitutes thoughtful design, and what makes a change big or small enough to cross the boundary between asset flip and genuine video game? Some people have gone so far as to declare that PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is an asset flip, since it uses a lot of assets from the Unreal Engine asset store. Now, I'm not really here to set the record straight or anything, it's not that kind of video, and I don't think I'm influential enough to even attempt that, but I will offer my interpretation. I believe that a game becomes an asset flip when there's reasonable cause to believe that the developer did not put genuine work or effort into the project, and is rather attempt to sit on the merits of assets that somebody else made. That means that, by this definition, I would not consider PUBG to be an asset flip. While it does use a lot of pre-built assets, I think that the developer has clearly put some effort in to make them coherent, well assembled, and overall it does make a cohesive gameplay experience that a lot of people measurably enjoy. Digital Homicide's infamous title The Slaughtering Grounds is something that I would consider an asset flip, since the gameplay experience is really not cohesive, it feels cheap, and the assets are really the only thing that the game actually has going for it, and Digital Homicide knows that. They are attempting ultimately to score a few bucks from people who take a quick look at the competently built assets and decide that they'd buy it. However, that's not really the end of the story for the term asset flip. There's an effort in some parts of Twitter to actually rebrand asset flip as a neutral or even positive term to basically describe any game that uses pre-built assets in the first place. As far as that goes, I think maybe that's the wrong way to approach things. The fact that flipping already exists as its own derogatory term in the real world makes it 1,000 times harder to actually rebrand this in consumers' eyes. Also, defining asset flips as any games that uses a pre-built asset is kind of crazy, and it not only devalues the term, it actually sort of shuts out smaller indies who might be able to afford or otherwise accommodate a full-time artist and opt instead to purchase assets that they happen to like from the internet. If consumers think that using any pre-built asset is bad, which they pretty much do at this point, then I can't see that as ending up as good for really anybody. So in closing, I've got one more thing to say. I opt to not even say asset flip very often, since there's so much controversy and confusion about what the term even means. I think that a much more useful and accurate term in most discussions, such as the whole Steam clutter problem thing, is just to say that it's a bad game, or a game that I don't like, that kind of thing. I mean, not all bad games are asset flips, I mean, a lot of them aren't. Asset flips suck, but they're a subset of the larger issue, which is low effort and dishonest titles getting onto Steam and kind of making things harder for everybody. Anyway, thanks for watching and stay tuned for more videos that'll probably make people mad at me actually, because I don't know if I've articulated this well enough or explained this well enough or even had a good idea enough. But thanks for watching, and yeah, I already said that. Goodbye.